and they said when the explosion happened, one guy said it was as if someone was pounding on my chest, and I asked, are those headaches because of the impact or maybe because of some of the chemicals here, and they surmised that it was from the impact because we weren't really smelling anything overly toxic here. But again, guys, right now the story appears to be that the smoke has diminished greatly now that the firefighters are actually working this fire. That's the very latest from the scene here. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Hey, George, when were those interviews done? About an hour ago or so?
That was taken from our live broadcast in the 5 o'clock news, so about an hour ago.
It was just interesting how different the plume of smoke looked behind those people and the way it looks behind you now. It's a significant decrease in that smoke plume.
Exactly, Don. You brought up a good point that, as I said when we came on the air here a few minutes ago, that when we first got here, it was unbelievable. The first thing that came to my mind was it looks like a massive tornado,
right.
and images of Moore, Oklahoma. I'm sorry, but that came to mind, and it was just the breath of the smoke that was coming from that area is just, now it sort of pales in comparison to what we saw when we first got here. And when we first got here, it just kept going. It kept billowing. It was just all shades of black and gray combined with white. It was just an amazing scene. And these workers here, even though that they were obviously physically, mentally shaken by what happened here, they kept on working like blue-collar workers do. They kept on working through the day, and they clocked out here at about 5:30 after they talked to us. But certainly a day that these workers will never forget.
No doubt about that. Yeah, and it was certainly the darkest, thickest, densest smoke I've ever seen coming from something.
And what was very odd, too, is that we saw white smoke coming from one area and black smoke coming from the other. And the person who helped to bring this into our TV station and into your homes, Captain Roy Taylor and Sky Team 11, up in the air first to bring these pictures to you starting right around the 2 o'clock hour this afternoon. Captain Roy, what have you heard and what's going on right now?
Well, I can tell you that the truck that was utilizing that we thought was foam, but it was actually water that they were trying to do some type of extinguisher with, was the crash truck from Martin State Airport. They're the ones here that they were actually in the process of putting on water. They've since been advised that they need to reposition a little bit so that they can get a better angle on the fire. They also have a crew of firefighters on the south side, or the east side, however you want to put it, of the railroad tracks. They're getting ready to strategically set up to try and do an attack. And what they've been doing for the most part, they've been pushing the fire towards the front of the train as opposed to allowing the fire to go towards the rear of the train. The rear of the train is where those cars are that they were concerned about the other hazardous materials. But towards the front is where the spray has been actually pushing the fire. Now, as you can see right now, they're not putting any water on it. They're reassessing how they're going to attack this. And once they took the water off, you can see the thicker black smoke start to bellow out from that one car there that's heavily engaged in fire. The stream was actually able to hit the other car to the right of it, and that's not burning as bad at the present time. In fact, they're just starting up now to take and put more water on here to try and assess. Plus, they have attack lines now from the east side or the south side of the track, actually putting water on the flames itself. So it'll be interesting to see, how this works out. Their big concern is they don't want the tower truck that's on the north side of the tracks inadvertently striking the firefighters on the south side, and vice versa. They don't want the people on the south side of the track inadvertently having that stream get involved with people on the north side of the track. So we're going to continue monitoring the situation up here. If you have any questions, please ask. Reporting live at Sky Team 11, I'm Captain Roy Taylor.
I do indeed, Roy. You have been up in the air taking a look at this crazy, crazy scene ever since you felt that explosion, that huge explosion. Can you kind of set the scene again for what you saw and heard, and then what you saw once you got up into the air?
Okay, for the most part, what happened was I was at Martin State Airport when we heard the explosion and felt the entire hangar just rumble. State crews from the airport, they actually were out on their balcony and pointing that the smoke plume was to the west of us, and I immediately jumped in the helicopter with Mike Ortiz, and we arrived over to the scene in less than 2.5 to 3 minutes. And when we got here, there was a huge plume of smoke, and we could see the derailed cars. And it was in the area of Rosedale at the CSX tracks in the area of 68th Street and Lake, where there is a crossing at Lake Drive here, where the road crosses the railway tracks, and we were able to find out that one of those roll-on, roll-off container trucks was struck by the CSX train. Evidently, the truck driver was in the process of trying to cross the roadway here, and something happened, and the train and the truck collided. Now, that truck was dragged quite a bit of ways down the track, along with the debris from a full trash container. Fire ensued. The explosion happened. I heard people literally calling me, telling they heard the explosion 22 miles away. Baltimore County Fire Department was quick to get to the scene here, along with Baltimore City Fire. They had Department of Environment respond here to the scene, state roads to block off the roadway, and even state police ended up responding here to the scene to assist in what was going down here. And we could see the facade of some of the buildings here just totally ripped off from the explosion. I mean, I equated to the earthquake when that happened, but it was loud. We knew something bad had happened. We just weren't quite sure exactly what transpired. We've been flying now over 4 hours covering this, so it just gives you an idea of the intensity of this operation. But now it appears that the two trucks that are involved with putting the water on the fire, they haven't started to use FEM yet. They're still using water in the process of trying to extinguish this. They have an aggressive attack at this time, and they're in the process of actually keeping it under control, keeping it from spreading to any of the other cars. So we're still continuing to monitor as we get more information. We'll update you. Reporting live in Sky Team 11.
All right.
Captain Roy Taylor.
Thank you, Roy, so much. You know, it was kind of